This is a Power 98.7 podcast. Now we're talking. Subscribe to Power 98.7 podcasts in iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. There's more on power987.co.za.
On the 27th of April, 1999, the wise man stood up and said, "The day shall not be far off, where we shall have a people's shrine, a freedom park, where we shall celebrate with all the dignity that they have, those that who fought for this freedom, so that we may obtain it today."
When we were conceptualizing Freedom Park, we used to say we must conceptualize it so that even 2,000 years from now, when things go wrong in our country, as they have now, people must never forget to visit Freedom Park, to go and find strength, to go and get inspiration, to think properly, to plan properly, to ensure that they buttress the freedom which was fought for so hard.
Fellow South Africans and the people of the world, greetings. Welcome to Freedom Park, a national heritage destination.
Jane Mufamadi, welcome.
Thank you.
COVID and Freedom Park, how hard, how bad has it been?
Very bad. It's been really a challenge. You know, heritage sites are mainly a people-to-people interaction because the idea is to bring people to interact with our artifacts, to interact with our programs, through our programs, and to see certain things. So there is an aspect of visual within it. So with the lockdowns and COVID, we were completely shut. We found ourselves having to rethink what to do. How do we keep in touch with our stakeholders?
Stay relevant.
Yes, how do we stay relevant during COVID? So we were hit very hard. And of course, we lost revenue in various aspects. So it was bad.
Well, we're still in the COVID period now, but we see the end of the tunnel. How do you envisage getting people back here and making this place attractive again to the same individuals, the same audiences that found it attractive before?
I think that's very difficult. One thing we are realizing is that as much as many people were frustrated with the lockdowns and the restrictions, it seems somehow people are settling in and getting used, because even now we are open, but we have seen that the numbers are still low. At least now, because it's summer, it's spring, people are beginning to gradually venture out, but not as you would have expected. The advantage of COVID is that it gave us an opportunity to rethink how we conduct business as heritage sites, as Freedom Park in particular, to say we can't rely on the people-to-people contact. We need to rethink how we do things, how we remain relevant, but how we still spread out the word and create awareness of our existence and the significance of our existence, so that people can still interact with us. For example, we made a lot of revenue through events hosting. Obviously, that is no longer there, but also events brought a lot more people to the park as well. We had now to interact with our people in terms of events through webinars, which is also a great initiative.
And a new concept for everybody.
Were scared to try, but because of COVID we were forced. And we're beginning also to realize the advantages of online and virtual and internet-based programs, because through those you are able to reach far wider and even beyond the shores of South Africa. So this is one of the opportunities that COVID-19 has brought to us as Freedom Park. We are also trying to say to South Africans, come and appreciate who you are and learn about yourselves, because we have a tendency of wanting to go outside South Africa in terms of visiting. Now that there are restrictions, we are saying to South Africans, there are places you can visit and explore which you did not know about, and one of those is Freedom Park.
The park was created for historic and educational objectives, the interest of the public, to acknowledge the heritage of a people of South Africa and to promote the development of a common identity and purpose for all South Africans.
Did government come to the party during this whole period?
Many heritage sites are closing and shutting shop. The only reason I believe, or one of the reasons why we are still open, is because of government support. Yes, there were budget cuts. We had to make do with what we have. And because of the closure and the travel restrictions, we had to redirect the same funds to PPE so that we comply. So I would say yes, government was there, and it is that support that sustained us also.
We conceptualized and consequently set out to create Freedom Park as an expression of freedom understood in both senses, of finite and an infinite meaning of freedom thus defined. And this has given Freedom Park a truly unique place and space in the rich and very global panoply of memorial sites which celebrate freedom and human achievement. I'm therefore saying that one of the unique features of Freedom Park surely is that this is a place where all of our heroes and heroines who have sacrificed ever since the 14th and 15th centuries, sacrificed to defend the freedom of our country, will find a place on this Freedom Park. Freedom Park becomes their home.
Let's talk about Freedom Park and the uniqueness about it.
Freedom Park is a fulfillment of the recommendation of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, because at the end, one of the recommendations, particularly the Reparations Committee, they made a recommendation that there's a need for what they called symbolic reparations, but also the establishment of monuments and memorials, so that South Africans and the world can know that our freedom was not free, that blood was shed. So we are about celebrating our liberation heritage. But what excites me about Freedom Park is that the preamble of our constitutions also talks about the mandate of the Freedom Park. We, the people of South Africa, recognize the injustices of the past and honor those who suffer for freedom and justice. So that in itself is the mandate of Freedom Park and what we are all about.
What is it to you as a woman that's important to leave that legacy footprint here?
I think, as you know, being a woman, it's challenging in the sense that sometimes you feel like you have to work 2 times harder than your male counterparts, either because people don't take you serious or people don't think you're intelligent enough or you're more deserving,
or just being undermined.
Yes, a lot actually. But I have seen from other women leaders that this is possible. We are celebrating now the year of Charlotte Macbeth, who was a woman of first. She broke many barriers. She achieved what her male counterparts during her time could only dream of. And therefore, I think with such inspirational people, and there are many, by the way, like her, you realize as a woman that this is possible. And you also realize that sometimes it's not about listening to what people say or think about you, but focusing on the job at hand and doing it because you know you are capable, you will do that. But there are challenges that as women we face, and sometimes the lack of support, sometimes being undermined, but it's doable.
We are about to head into municipal elections. The terminology, of course, is elections equals democracy equals freedom in Freedom Park. Do you see yourself in that space, that you're a significant institution that embodies what individuals who need to go and vote and use that opportunity to express their freedom? How do you relate to that process?
I wish South Africans can understand the importance of casting their vote, because actually power lies with them and not with the leaders. But we see ourselves also playing a role of educating the nation that the opportunity to vote was not always there. Many died for that opportunity, but the opportunity to vote and exercise your freedom responsibly, it's actually the opportunity for them to govern. Governing in the sense of deciding and dictating who should lead based on the values that they see and they want to see their leaders to be. Because there is a tendency within communities to think that power lies with the leaders, but power actually lies with the nation. And it starts with casting your vote. It starts with understanding the significance of why you need to vote and who you need to vote for, based on the value systems that you see, but based on what inspires you to your leaders to be.
The power of getting up on that day, walking to a polling station, looking at the candidate list and deciding for yourself which individual you support. That's the power.
Definitely. So as a nation, as a people, we are actually kingmakers. We can make and decide who must lead us. But when you sit at home, other people will decide for you, and therefore you will come and complain later. So why should we not stand up and exercise that right, exercise that freedom, and do it responsibly? Because we can change the narrative.
Jane Mufamadi, CEO of Freedom Park, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.
You've been listening to a Power 98.7 podcast. For more podcasts, visit power987.co.za or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.